Families can come in and meet and greet small animals. And the fourth weekend is why I have Kristen here, is because we are planning a race, a 5K family run walk. And so she is going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But we wanted to talk to you guys about our event because we would like to serve beer and wine there, or beer, wine, and cider mostly. And with the church right there, we wanted to make sure you're aware of it and make sure you approve of selling beer and wine. And then also, we'd like to talk to you guys about if it's possible to put a sign out on the highway to make sure people know where to go. So have something similar to the front logo, saying Orchard Days, fun this way.
I think since it's a sign on the highway, you're going to need to get the approval of the highway department.
Okay.
The town wouldn't be able to. As far as the special events, that only covers if you're using town property.
Okay.
Okay. Or if you need waiver of the open alcohol.
Yeah.
In other words, if they're eating.
Right.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
If you can ask for that. Other than that, or fireworks.
No fireworks.
Okay.
Well, there's this state ordinance which we put in there, which is 16.303, I think, or 306, which says you can't serve alcohol 600 feet from a school or church. And then there's 16.309, which gives the city the opportunity to waive that. And the church is in the city and the orchard's in the county, so we weren't sure if we had the city waive that.
Can you talk to them?
I did call them, and she said, I called, actually then Jan gave me the gal name, and then she gave me another gal's name, but she gave her my number and she hasn't called me yet. They were pretty excited to have us.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually, John Ross owns the parking lot in
Yeah,
the
he
church
does.
anyway.
yeah.
And then sign-wise, we were.
Barn.
What's that?
That parking lot's the access to the barn.
Correct. And we were going to put a tent up, and I don't really think alcohol is the primary reason we're
Would
doing
that
this. So,
be a problem for the church on Sunday?
I talked to the church about that, and we made sure we planned around their mass. So their first mass is at 9:30, and she said it ends way before noon. And our event on Sunday won't start until noon. So Saturday is tentative, it's 10 to 5, and Sunday is noon to 5. Because we wanted to be good neighbors, and we knew that parking lot would be used, so.
So there's nothing that we even have to approve.
It sounds like we need to waive the restriction on having it within, state law allows that. But the
Sure.
special events policy doesn't. Yeah.
would it be possible to put a sign on North Street by the highway, saying Orchard this way?
As long as it's not on the highway easement
The city wouldn't have a problem.
or
No.
it's up to the council.
It would be temporary, we take it down at the end.
And I think, we have a graphic artist on staff who would make it attractive, and would be something similar to the logos that you see. So, that's the poster actually, Stan, if you want to pass that around. You guys can keep that, actually. And then the one underneath is actually one for Kristen, so.
This open container whatever you want, are you talking about walking on the street?
No, it's just to be under the tent. We'll have a mobile beer unit. They can sample the cider. They can
But
buy.
that's in the county, right?
Correct, but it's within 600 feet of the church, which is in the city. And we can make it more than 600 feet from the church, but we'd be way out, away from where we want to be.
Well, it'd be a small.
I was just out there at the beat working my bees, and that's why I was a little bit late. But it was like they almost carried me here.
I would like to know what the church, how they feel about this before I put my stamp on it.
Sure.
To tell you the truth. I don't think they'd have a problem, but if they did,
Yeah.
and we just went ahead and said it's all right whether they like it or not, I
Yeah.
don't think that would be fair.
Right.
Would you like that in a letter form from someone at the church, or how would you like them to sign?
Yeah.
Is there a good
But pending that, I would have no problem.
Well, for planning purposes, if we could kind of give our approval tentatively with the condition that we get approval from the church and tell everything.
That'd be great.
Then that way it would expedite your planning
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, we would sure appreciate that. Do you have a contact at the church that would be the right person for us to call?
He's
the
the,
number that,
That's what I've got. And then she said she took my number and said she'd give it to the next person, and I haven't heard from them, so.
no, that's the only number that I have.
Who did you give it, Gloria's?
I have no idea, it's a bridge number, because they don't have, a phone number.
You know who
I
did?
didn't have.
Probably Kate
it's
Combs.
the same preacher does.
Yeah, that sounds, she said, I think
Yeah,
that's
she
right.
just
She's gonna
lives up
give-
like 3 houses from the church here.
Right.
Yeah, okay, she said she's gonna give her my number to Kate Combs.
But she was in the hall all day because we had that garage sale.
Okay.
Well, do we need to make a
You do need a motion, will be in the form of whether you're waiving the requirement that it not be within
600 feet of the
600
church.
feet, as long as it's contingent on written approval or consent.
Okay, well, I make that motion.
I
Is
second
what
it.
Hope said.
Yeah.
I second it.
Okay, so we have a motion to waive the requirement for special events application contingent on a letter approving it from the church. Right, from the
It's not
Catholic Church.
special events, what it is, as he
State
indicated,
law.
Sam indicated, it's a 600 yard
Okay,
feet
600 feet
from
requirement
a church that they not
So-
serve alcohol. And so you're waiving that contingent on the
Agree.
written approval from the church.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then, on a big part of that, and I think Kristen would like to talk to you about the race, and where we've tentatively planned the route and talked to you guys about the day and the logistics of that. This is what Kristen does. This is her
Yeah.
profession, and I've worked with her a couple other times, and she's great. So she's gonna talk to you about the race.
Thanks.
Yeah, so this might require a separate motion or approval in addition to what you guys just did. So the race we're planning is a 5K run walk, and it would be on Saturday, October 12th. And if you look in the back of that packet Lindsay handed you, you have a little bit of information specifically on it. And we would expect between 75 on the low end and 200 on the high end participants. And it's a little bit difficult to see on this map, but if you follow the dots, the race would start in Ross Orchards proper and kind of run alongside a mowed patch around the irrigation ditch. And then it would cross on the second bridge onto property that Ross Orchards leases. It would cross the Joliet Fromberg Road and then go to Gibo, I don't know how you Gibo, go up towards the entrance of the cemetery and then turn around, come back onto Fromberg Joliet Road and then cut into, and it wouldn't have to do this if you didn't want to, cut into the high school track area, and then it would pop out onto the street right in front of the school, turn onto Missouri, and then West River Street, so coming right through town, and then going up Harley Avenue and back onto North. And it wouldn't require, a race of this size on the road wouldn't require any road closures. We have road marking signs that say runners on the road, race in progress, and we would have course monitors at the major intersections, so the Fromberg Joliet Road, and then coming out of the school road to the Missouri. And then additionally, going onto Harley Ave, we would have people in orange safety vests directing directing runners where to go. So that kind of takes care of that safety aspect. And then in addition, I know parking would be a concern with that many people, so we would use the church initially and then the north side of North Street property, and we would make sure no private property was infringed upon, not blocking anybody's driveway or parking in front. And then we would request, and I don't know if this is through you guys or through the school, the use of some parking up at the school for overflow.
You check the school schedule,
I have not yet.
that'd be advisable to your.
Yeah, for sports,
Yeah,
it's the
football.
school schedule.
Or a football game there in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if there's
I haven't got the
games-
schedule yet, so I can't tell.
Yeah, that will be
games are
our,
usually at 1 o'clock, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you check with Gail and the school, what is their number?
Yeah, she should have her schedule.
perfect, yeah, I can give them a call.
668, let's stop and think.
I can look that up. That's not an issue. Yeah, so.
She'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. And then, you know, it's pretty safe. We wouldn't allow strollers or dogs or headphones on the course. And then trash would be all taken care of. There'd be no aid stations, so no trash would be generated on the route. There'd be no restrooms on the route. That would all be housed back at the orchard. And we don't expect, it wouldn't generate any excessive noise or anything like that. And the event itself will have event insurance, and the city of Fromberg can be added as additionally insured on there as well.
Yeah, I've checked with the school to make sure it's okay for you to go through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that route can easily change.
Yeah, it can be modified. So if you don't want anyone coming down,
No, there'd be no problem.
River, but- yeah.
Terry's really.
Yeah.
And the date on that is what?
Saturday, October 12th. And the race would start at 11. And you know, it doesn't, even if you're walking a 5K, it shouldn't take you more than an hour,
Yeah.
even with smaller kids.
And how soon would you be able to provide the liability information?
Oh, as quick as you would like it.
Okay, as soon as you check with the school and make sure that it's okay with the school, with their basic schedule to be able to cross some of the school property
Yeah.
and the Catholic Church.
Do it.
And that's-
We can approve
Tomorrow
our
or
portion
Wednesday, 'cause I
tonight.
won't be there Thursday or Friday.
We can approve
Okay,
our
yeah, thank you
portion
for that insight.
tonight.
Yeah, I had a question about garbage collection for all this. I know John has a residential, maybe it's good that Julie's here, but.
Sam. You're gonna call me and we're gonna take care of that.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be our donation. There's very few events in Fromberg for us to donate to, so we would love to be
Thank
part
you.
of that.
Thank you very much.
And, well, I guess along this lines, we want to be good neighbors. We were thinking we could donate apples to the school if there's anything else that, there's a need in town where if there's any profits from the race or anything like that, we could make a donation. We'd be happy to hear about it.
Good to see
Any
something
leftover cider or anything, we could probably help you.
Actually, we did bring our cider
Are
samples.
you guys allowed to take samples? I think it's Saturday.
Well, you should know what our apples are producing and things, so my keys are right there.
Any other comments?
A motion that we approve that with the contingency that we receive the insurance information.
Approval from the school.
Well, I'm not,
Yeah.
we don't have to approve the school.
No, they'll do their own thing, and
And
you have a
if they
certificate.
If the school doesn't approve, you probably alter the route.
We would just stay on the Joliet
Yeah.
Fromberg Road, but I thought it would be like a nice little shortcut and
Yeah.
just to show a little bit more of the
Going
town.
right up behind the addition, past, down along the edge of the old football field, down
Yeah,
on the north, on the west side of the distance.
yeah,
That's your route, right?
yes.
So surely I made a motion.
And I'll
Okay,
second it.
so I have a motion and a second to approve the Orchard Days event for the Last Chance Pub and Cider Mill and the race. All in favor?
Alright,
And you can do it early, but you can see it.
And we plan on also just notifying all the neighbors that would be along the route or kind of along that main area on North where we would park, just to let them know it's happening and all of that good stuff and invite them to join.
Sure.
so one quick question, is this the first annual?
Yeah, first annual.
Okay.
And you're all welcome to join any weekend. We'll have apples for sale and
If
food.
it's a success, we'll see you again next year.
I don't think if's the question.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident it's gonna go over well.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next order of business, Terry Keller.
I'm not here on nothing nearly that nice.
Uh-oh.
Terry Feller, if you don't know me. Do you have a sergeant at arms?
Me.
Anybody want to be sergeant at arms? Would you
Keith
nominate
could be,
Keith to be
yeah.
sergeant at arms?
Okay, go ahead.
Would you order him not to let James Perkins out of the room?
Oh, well, no, I can't do that.
Absolutely you
Yes,
can,
you
it's
can.
within your
You're
legal
the mayor.
right.
I'm not going anywhere.
Perfect, let's get after it then. How many people know that the deeded alley, the dedicated city alley is in Jim's deed, property deed? When I say dedicated, I mean the city had once owned it. And I need to apologize to both of you. You've been swindled, you've been had. So anyway, through deception, you no longer own that alley. It's in Jim's property. And I was gonna come here and cuss you out, then I started chasing paper. So anyway, let's get after it. One for you, 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 one for me. I got a spare. One for you. Okay. These are the minutes. Each time you vote and approve the minutes, these are legal documents. In legal documents, words matter. Turn to the second page, zoning. Jim Perkins. A request from James A. Perkins for the town to abandon a proposed alley for 10 feet each way between his property at 220 Carbon and the property of Dave Jensen Country Mobile Home Park, which has a ditch at the end of the proposed alley. Discussion had. Mayor Anderson said he would look into the proposed proper procedure. All right. The bait is set. August 1st, 2011. One for you. 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 Sorry, one for you. One for you. All right. Only 2 pages. This shouldn't take long. Old business. Discussion held on proposed alley property 10 feet each way between Jim Perkins Sr. and Dave Jensen. Motion by Barnes, seconded by Deland, that the town has no interest in this property, is not exercising any of its easement for the proposed alley. Approved unanimously. Kent Young is the attorney at this time.
Right.
Okay. Set them aside. So, did anybody read a deed map, a legal land claim map? Can you? Do you know how?
Like, kind of, sort of, like, I don't know.
I'm sure Hope can. All right.
I'm like, I can read most maps.
This is the legal property, complete legal description of the property of Dave Jensen's property at, where is he at? He's up in the Rimrock subdivision up here on the hill. I know we were just talking about the alley. Words matter. It's not mentioned when you gave the land away. One for you. One for you. You'll notice these are exact legal descriptions documented in the courthouse. This comes from the Montana cadastral map. These are placed in there by the Carbon County Assessor's Office. This is how you pay your taxes. Oh, you
This
said
is
you
not
think.
actually a legal document,
Why isn't it?
because the cadastral sometimes has it wrong. What's legal document is what's filed with the clerk and recorder's office.
I bet you this is filed at the Clerk and Recorder's Office.
I'm just saying.
This is not proof of that, though. That's what she's saying.
All right, it's not proof, but would you read it for exactly what it says?
Well, it says primary information, property category, RP, geocode is a geocode. Primary owner, Jensen David Arthur, trustee. with a P.O. box, Fromberg. Certificate of survey, there is none. That means that there wasn't a certificate of survey filed with the clerk and recorder's office. Subdivision, Rimrock View, subdivision, legal description, Rimrock View subdivision, section 17, tract 5 south, range 23 east, Rimrock View subdivision, LT 11, plat 394. Last modified 7/11/2019.
Okay, you can stop. We got the actual legal description. Now, would you read the legal description of James Perkins' legal description?
Fromberg original town site, section 20, tract 5 south, range 23 east, Fromberg, OPLT, B plat 2291 RB, and the adjacent alley, 20 by 210.82.
And the adjacent alley. That's in Jim's deed. Okay. Did anyone pick up on the proposed alley part?
Yes.
Words matter. Surely, would you pick up that Coke bottle with your right hand? I propose there's $200 bills out there. Would you pick one up?
No, I can't. There.
It does not exist. I don't know where you guys were planning on building this proposed alley. I have no idea. No idea. But the good news is when they build it, you own the west half of it. All right. Here we go. We're still legal yet. We haven't broken any laws yet. You can't give away half of nothing that you don't own. Words matter. This is Resolution 472. Whereas the Town of Fromberg, by vote of council at regular town council meeting on August 1st, 2011, did release claim to and vacate proposed alley. Let's refer to August 1st. No. We go back to August 1st. This is the only paperwork in this thing. I have checked it twice. I have looked. Okay. Old business discussion held on proposed alley. Where is that proposed alley? That pesky thing keeps popping up. Property 10 feet each way between James Perkins Sr. and Dave Jensen. Motion by Barnes, seconded by Delaney, that the town has no interest in this property. It's not exercising any of its easement for the proposed alley. Approved unanimously. Where is that? All right. Whereas the town has not released half of the proposed alley, and whereas a document is needed to the effective release, now therefore be resolved that the town of Fromberg in Montana will proceed and effect release the remaining half alley described as. Holy cow! We now have a legal description, an exact legal description. I can trace that. Let's go back to the first document, July 11th, 2011, please. Zoning, Jim Perkins, request from James Perkins for the town to abandon proposed alley for 10 feet each way between property 220 Carbon and property of Dave Jensen's mobile court, which has a ditch at the end of the proposed alley. Discussion held. Mayor Anderson said he will look into the proper procedure. If you're going to give away city alley, if you're going to do a property deal, let me step back. What's the first thing you do?
Money, you ask for money?
You gotta see who owns it. You gotta go look at the plat of the town of Fromberg. There it is, right there, on the wall. Dave, would you stand up and take a look at that plat? You know where the trailer court is, you know where Jim lives. Do you see what's between those two? Stand up and look at it.
I can see it from where I'm at.
Would you call that an alley? It's an alley behind my house, which is right across the alley from Jim's.
I can't tell from the picture.
Let me help.
There's that photo.
Let's see, I gotta get my directions here. Which way am I looking? Oh, I'm right here, I'm actually pointing the exact same way. Okay, Nate, have you got a little younger eyes?
A little bit.
This is the exact property we're talking about. Here's mine spur loop, this is the trailer court, this is Jim's property. What is that in between? This is an alley behind my house that goes straight across. Would you call that an alley?
It's marked the exact same as the one next to it, yeah.
All right. Any arguments that's an alley? Any
It's
argument?
not an alley. That alley behind your place is a driveway for Jim.
Here's a certified document to that alley. This is certified by the county. Clerk and recorder. Go on.
Well, go ahead, you're doing all right.
No, that's it. You stole the alley.
No, I didn't.
The clerk and recorder certified that that's an alley. This is the original town plat from June 5th, 1899, dedicated 2:00 p.m. In that legal description, whoever did the legal description at that time and point knew that that was a legal alley. Because you can't break into that description and not do that. Did you notice on Jim's site, his adjacent alley? Maybe not a legal document, might be worth checking. Certified on there. But this isn't legal. I've been informed by your lawyer, so you'll have to take this to the courthouse and get it certified. But they even said the adjacent alley is 20 by 210 by 82. And oddly enough, you asked for 10 foot by 210 by 82. That's a pretty good coincidence. I would say that Jim, with the help of Mayor Anderson, who was supposed to check this out and make sure it was legal, I'd say they stole the city alley.
Okay, I want to go back to, in the minutes.
Minutes are legal property, or legal documents.
Yes, I know.
Which one?
Both of them, because in the zoning request on an old business in 2011 and again in 2017, the wording says proposed alley.
Well,
Where did they?
I don't know. I don't know if Jim was giving up land to build his proposed alley. I don't know if the trailer court was giving up land to build his proposed alley. But when they build the proposed alley, Jim will have the west half of it. There is no proposed alley. All there is a dedicated city alley certified by the clerk and recorder from 1899.
Okay. Jim, do you have any rebuttal to that?
I do. Back in after this August in 2011, I had the place surveyed by surveyors out of Red Lodge. They come down and they surveyed the whole property. I asked them about that 20 feet, and they said that is a proposed alley that was put there when they did the original plot way back in the 1930s or whenever. He said, if you want to get that property, you have to go to the city council and get a title, deed. Now just a minute, you get a deed. So this is what I did. I started the process because this is what the survey people told me to do. Okay. We go through the process. Anderson decides that Jensen should have the other half. Jensen refused the other half. He said, I don't want it because I don't want to pay taxes on it. So that ended that. I got a deed, quitclaim deed on the western half of that 20 feet, that 10 feet. I thought, well, he don't want it, okay, I'm going to apply for the eastern 10 feet because it's mine. It's been mine since the 1930s, 90 years. It was a garden when my granddad was alive. I planted grass in it after he passed away. I built the training court. So I started applying for the easterly half. It took from 2011 to 2017 because things just took time. And finally, then we had the resolution 407 or whatever it is. The council voted. I got a quitclaim deed. It's filed in Red Lodge. The Red Lodge filed it. And well, he had me all the paperwork. I already had it in my hand. So that's where that all came from.
Were you a member of the council at the time, Jim?
Yeah.
May I speak? He was the president of the council. The city has no legal description of abandonment of certified alley. There is not one. There's no legal description, there's no abandonment papers that went with this. None.
There's no certification that that is an alley either.
If that's the case, that's the sort.
This is stamped by the clerk and recorder for the state of Montana, certifying that that's
Well,
an
then
alley.
them survey people sure don't know what they're doing.
The survey people wouldn't have showed up unless you were gonna put it in there to start with, so it, anyway, there's no certification that the alley was ever released. I would say go to court, let the court settle it. That's what I would suggest.
I would say I just have one thing to add in there. The reason from 2011, from 2017, why he can't describe that is because that trailer court property was being sold and exchanged by three different, from Jensen to another gentleman to the one that currently is now as of 2016. The owner as of 2016 was not aware of that other alley half being given away. That's all I have to say.
And at that time, you have locked in two properties that use that dedicated alley to get to their home.
It's not an abandoned alleyway because the garbage man drives down it and
Yep.
it has access to two other homes.
Tony Espinosa in his blue car, mayor with great big hair, drove past Jim's house 10,000 times.
They all have easements been there. They all have.
It doesn't matter, it's not your property. You need to go to court and you need to find
That's
out.
up to the town, but they're the ones that give it to me.
No. I think if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't have given it to you. They gave you a proposed alley. That is a certified dedicated alley.
Hope, what do you got to say?
I think I need to look into it. I know there's a way to vacate, and it's by petition.
So, was the public notified when you vacated the eastern half? Was the public
I don't
notice
know.
given?
I don't know.
You were the lawyer.
Not at that time.
No, she wasn't. Kent Young was.
No, she
In
wasn't.
2011.
No.
When you vacated the eastern half, she was the
By
lawyer.
2017, yes.
Correct.
It was not posted as a vacation.